Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, The Dirt, which is basically the story of how Motley Crue became one of the biggest bands of all time. And growing up, I'm not the biggest fan of Motley Crue today, but back then I was pretty big into Motley Crue. Now I didn't wear the jean jackets with the patches on the back like some of my friends, but I did listen to them a lot. And it's funny, as I went to start this film, I could hear Kickstart My Heart. I got a great story for that one that Spud and I know. But anyway, so I know a lot about Motley Crue from back in the day, so this should be interesting. I wasn't even planning on watching it, or I totally forgot about it. I think I saw it at some point advertised, but then on Facebook, everybody's posting watching the dirt, and I was like, oh, that came out tonight, so I'm going to start watching it. We already know what it's all about. I'm not sure what I could share with you on a check-in. Maybe there'll be something interesting, but worst case scenario, I'll tell you what I think of this film, but I'm sure it's going to be great, so stick around. Hey everybody, we're at the credits, or as much credits as you can get on Netflix for The Dirt. They did let it roll a little bit longer because I'll explain that in a little bit, but not all the way to the end. What do I think of this movie? Interesting to watch. So, as I said before, I know about Motley Crue, listened to them younger. I didn't follow them, I'm not a fanatic. Didn't even realize this is based on a book. The book is written about, this whole movie. Now, always, no matter what movie it is, the book is always going to be better than the movie. So, I didn't read the book, so I have no opinion on that. But I think a lot of people, if you did read the book, you might not like this, because I bet you there's things in it that aren't 100% accurate. Then they dramatize more for movies than they do in the book. So, but I think a lot of it is true, and so I found that very interesting and intriguing. I felt, when I first started watching it, I felt it was like light in a sense. Not an overall comedy, but it wasn't as dark initially, and deep, and I don't know, can't think of the other term that I thought it felt very light and almost humorous at times, as the way they put it together, which is a kind of fun way to do it, I think. But I can see how true fans could get upset with that. What else was there? I thought the actors, okay, I didn't know any of them. But I didn't find myself really, because I don't know what they really act like. But like Tommy Lee, I thought, that's not the way I think I've seen Tommy Lee in public. But I don't know him that well. But I thought that the way that they played him was a little odd. Again, with the light factor, it does get a little bit darker, as a lot of it focuses on Nikki Sixx. So he starts the narration. Each one of them has a little piece of the narration, but a lot of the focus was on him and his story and his addiction. And when it gets into that kind of thing, and then Vince Neil's family life, those types of things, if you don't know about it, it obviously gets darker. And Vince Neil's drinking and driving, all that kind of stuff, which is actually true, really happened. And that brings in the dark undertones, but the movie overall didn't feel real dark to me. Talking about Nikki Sixx, I thought it was interesting that they said he spent $1,000 a day on heroin. Wow, unbelievable. So you can understand how he might go into rehab. Very raunchy film. The movie's about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. They play that up pretty well in this movie. So I don't know if it was TVMA it's rated. I didn't know if it was R or what, but a lot of sex, drugs, and rock and roll on your screen at all times, which is what the band really did. The lead singer, Vince Neil, reminded me of Dana Carvey. Couldn't get over it. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, who is this guy? I know him from somewhere. When you look at him, that's what he reminded me of. And you can't get that out of your head as you're watching the movie. Like, that's Dana Carvey playing Vince Neil in this entire movie. One thing that I did like at the end is the fact that they in post credits they give a little blurb, which is great, nothing earth-shattering, but then they show actual footage of Motley Crue in real life versus scenes in the movie. I do like that. They try and reenact a lot of the different things that they did in real life, and so for me, I enjoyed it. I think if you're a true die-hard Motley Crue fan, you might not like this movie. If you're somewhat of a fan, you know, if you like them, you like their music, and wanted to learn more about them without reading the book, I think this movie is worth the watch. I think you really enjoyed it. And I could be wrong. Maybe Die Hard fans really like to see this as well. But I could see them, you know, maybe not liking it. It does feel more like a Lifetime movie, R-rated Lifetime movie, than, you know, a studio-made movie. You know, and maybe that's what I mean by light. You'll see when you watch it. Hopefully you get that same feeling that I get. But overall, I enjoyed it because I'm not a Die Hard fan. I don't need to know, you know, if this event happened, but it didn't happen in the spot that they said. I don't care. I get it. You know, this band was crazy, and you know, they truly lived the rock and roll in the 80s and lived that lifestyle, and this was a glimpse into that. So I think that's it. That's all the notes I took on that. I didn't want to do any check-ins. I didn't think it was worth any check-ins because you know what the whole plot's about, right? It's about the band. So I just wanted to talk at the end and give my thoughts on it. If you know who Motley Crue is, I think it's worth watching. Absolutely. Is it going to be an incredible film? Probably not. And based on how well you like it is how much you know about Motley Crue, I think. And how much you can stand Lifetime movies with actors that you don't know and who might not be that great. But if you like good music, it's riddled with Motley Crue good music. So, alright, that's enough. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Love to hear from you. The Dirt. Put in some comments. Like my channel. Subscribe to my channel. All that jazz. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.